From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Emily Joveski. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is among the world leaders commending Israel's killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar in the Gaza Strip. Trudeau calls Sinwar a brutal leader of a group Canada deems a terrorist organization. Sinwar was the architect of last year's militant attack on Israel that killed 1,200 people and saw about 250 kidnapped. Gaza's health ministry says Israel's offensive has since killed more than 42,000 Palestinians. Justin Trudeau is expected to shuffle his cabinet yet again after 4 more cabinet ministers informed the Prime Minister's office they won't run in the next election.
The minister responsible for the Federal Economic Development Agency of Southern Ontario, Philomena Tassi, and Sports Minister Carla Qualtrough both announced they won't be running again and are stepping back from Trudeau's cabinet. A senior government source says Revenue Minister Marie-Claude Bibeau and Northern Affairs Minister Dan Vandel also won't be on the ballot. It's not clear yet when the shuffle will happen, but the source, who spoke on background, says it could be by the end of next week. The change comes as members of Trudeau's caucus appear to be prepared to ask him to step aside as leader. Laura Osman, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Ontario's Court of Appeal has ordered a new hearing for a youth-led constitutional challenge of the provincial government's emissions target. The unanimous decision is being heralded as a win for the group of 7 young people who brought the case forward. They argued a weakened target committed Ontario to dangerously high levels of greenhouse gases, knowing it would cause harm to youth and future generations in violation of their charter rights. It's the first in Canada to consider whether government's approach to climate change has the potential to violate the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Patients who don't speak English or French are 30% more likely to experience harm during a hospital stay in Canada. New research from the Canadian Institute for Health Information shows these patients are at greater risk of unintended injuries, like bed sores or medication errors. Report co-author Dana Riley says there's a cost to this equation for patients and the healthcare system.
I think there are a variety of different reasons why we might start to think about patient safety, think about equity, and think about these as key interconnected dimensions of healthcare quality.
The report also found patients without a high school education are 20% more likely to endure harm compared to those with higher education. And a former Canadian Olympic snowboarder is wanted in the U.S. on multiple charges. U.S. authorities allege Ryan James Wedding is involved in a transnational drug trafficking ring and several murders in Ontario. The 43-year-old competed for Canada at the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Ontario Hockey League says it's taking recent sexual assault allegations against 8 former players very seriously. A woman alleged in a CTV report that aired last night that she was sexually assaulted by 8 OHL players in November 2014. None of the allegations have been tested in court. In NHL action tonight, the Vancouver Canucks take on the Panthers in Florida. The Los Angeles Kings visit the Montreal Canadiens, the Ottawa Senators host New Jersey, and Connor McDavid's Edmonton Oilers are in Nashville. And Emmanuel Quickley's status has been upgraded to questionable for the Toronto Raptors' final game of the preseason tomorrow against the Brooklyn Nets. The 25-year-old guard has missed Toronto's 4 tune-up games with a sprained thumb, but says he's feeling pretty good otherwise.
Had like 4 or 5 different casts to try out, just trying to find a good one that can protect me. But feel pretty good, otherwise just trying to get my wind back and stuff like that.
From the Canadian Press, I'm Emily Joveski.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.